What's the time, Mr. Wolf?
Time to die!
In Fortnite right now, there is a strange structure in the desert biome. It's kind of a weird assortment of logs and cars on top of this mountain. At first glance, it doesn't seem like much, just a group of stuff sitting on a mountain. But if we take a closer look, we can see that it is a makeshift clock. At the current time, we don't yet know what the clock is for or how it functions, but by looking at the build of it, we can see that it resembles a sundial. A sundial is an old way of telling the time of day using the sun. The sun's light would shine on this central point, and the shadow from that point would dictate what time of day it is. And as the day went on, the sun would constantly move through the sky, causing the shadow to move around the dial. This is what the clock in Fortnite is. Epic Games have created their very own sundial. Looking at this clock, it has 4 noteworthy points, which are these cars. If you look directly north, we can assume that this car is 12. This car is 3, this car is 6, and this car is 8, which resembles the points on a normal clock. To see the sundial working, you must turn on your shadows first. And when you have, you will see that the shadow from the sundial is pointing to just after 11. My guess is these 4 cars, indicating 3, 6, 9 and 12, will be events. So when the shadow hits these points, there will be an event in Fortnite. So right now, if my guess is right, the first major event isn't too far away. We don't know how fast this shadow is moving, or if it's moving at all in real time. Before with the cube movements happened in real time in game, but we can't say for sure in this situation. Alternatively, they could move the shadow each week with every update they bring out, which would show how long we have until the next event. So the car indicating 12 facing north will be the first event, and the shadow will move around the sundial to the other cars for the other 3 events, and eventually end up back at 12. If you don't know already, events in Fortnite are never too obvious or big to start off with. They happen in stages. They start off fairly small and ramp up over the course of a season. In this case, I believe these cars on the sundial are points in which Season 7 events will happen. One of these theories is related to the iceberg. Recently, part of the iceberg, the snowy part on top of it, melted, revealing a castle village looking thing, which was part of the Infinity Blade limited time mode. They have since removed the Infinity Blade from the game due to fan outrage for it being too overpowered and all this sort of stuff, but that was an event that happened. The castle was originally covered in snow. I made a video on it, and then it melted partially, revealing a little village area. So that's obviously one event. What these other events could be, we don't know. Is it related to the snow biome? Is it related to any other part of the map? Is the snow going to increase? Is it going to cover more parts of the map? Is the snow going to melt? Are we going to see the introduction of new characters? Is there going to be like a landslide or kind of like a massive blizzard coming in? We don't know yet, but I have my own theories, and I will show you guys those theories in some of my future videos, as I don't want to spoil them just yet, because I have some pretty good guesses as to what these events could be. But as far as the clock goes, I do believe that this clock is a sundial, and it is moving. I don't know whether it's moving in real time. I have stood next to this shadow for about 5 to 10 minutes waiting for something small to happen, and it hasn't moved. So either A, it isn't moving at all, and we will see the shadow moving every week, because as you guys know, Fortnite is updated per week with bug fixes, changes, vaults, all this other stuff like putting weapons into the vault, introducing new weapons. So they could, every single week, move the shadow around the sundial and move it closer to these event points, which are these cars. Or it's moving that slowly that me standing there for 5 to 10 minutes isn't long enough to see any noticeable difference. But we'll have to wait and see how this is all going to unfold. But this little thing on the mountain, this clock, isn't a coincidence. Fortnite never put things in the game that are coincidences. It's always for something. It always has a purpose, and it's always related to other events. Like with the cube, there was lightning strikes that happened around a circle of cactuses. As you can see by the scorch marks on the ground next to where the sundial is, in the desert, and then the cube spawned shortly after that, and then the cube started moving, and the cube was the main event that happened previously to this. So those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you believe that this clock is a significant part of Season 7, or do you believe that it's either A, just a random thing they added into the game, or B, just a cool little clock that they added in? I believe that it is something bigger, and it is going to lead down the road to more events, and it's going to be the indicator of where we see these events coming. So we will use the sundial as a reference to let us know how far away an event is. And currently in game where the shadow is positioned, if it's going to move up to the north facing car at 12, the next big event that's going to happen isn't too far away. It could be on Christmas. As we approach Christmas Day, it could happen then. Every week it moves a little by little closer to 12, and then we get our first major event, but we'll have to wait and see. But let me know what you guys think about it. I'm a massive conspiracy nut, so I'm fully convinced that this is part of a major event conspiracy going on in Fortnite. So I'm really looking forward to see what Epic Games has in store for this season. But with that, leave a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you haven't already, and with that, my name has been Silly Cozzy, and I will see each and every one of you in my next video. Goodbye, guys.